We'll remain standing for the national anthem, please. Before we start, please, people in the audience, would you please be seated? We do have ample seating space. Please be seated. We expect to be here about an hour for this very solemn affair, and we would like everyone to be comfortable. Thank you.
Heavenly Father, we educators, parents, relatives, and friends, taxpayers all, gather together to give you honor and glory for bringing these sons and daughters of yours, today's graduates, into a new spiritual and intellectual awareness of their place in our society and within your entire creation. This day, these graduates join the Apostle Paul in saying, "When I was a child, I used to talk as a child, and think like a child, and argue like a child. But now that I am a young woman, a young man, all childish things are put behind me." As a proud parent, you join us in viewing these young visionaries as symbols of hope, patient endurance, and the promise toward a future. When each one is called forth by name to receive his or her sign of achievement, may they feel deeply within your eternal pleasure and joy over the fact that they consciously used, to a greater or lesser degree, the talents given them by you, developing themselves as responsible decision-making persons, so that they may have a beautiful or handsome gift to offer you, as well as all those who come into their life during the days ahead. Father, make us forever aware that you tenderly touch each one of us with the affirmation and love of the Spirit of your Son, Jesus, our brother. Amen.
Thank you, Father Keller from St. Paul's Albanian Church, 12 Mile near Rhine Road in Warren. Father Keller, parents, board members, special guests, faculty, and more important, class of 1985. Welcome to the 104 commencement. This is the 104 commencement, the first one dating back to 1990. Today, approximately 130 of these young people will be added to the 25,000 who have preceded you. This is a wonderful day here at Hamtramck High School. We want to again thank the board for this beautiful building. Can you imagine us outdoors today in that 85-degree heat? Or if it happened to rain today in the high school auditorium? Thank God for small favors. At this time, I would like to introduce our Salutatorian, Donna Alexandrovich.
Parents, faculty, administrators, friends, and fellow graduates, welcome to the 1984 commencement and in sharing this memorable day with us. A few short minutes ago, we entered the auditorium as a class for the final time. Shortly, we shall be leaving to follow our dreams, visions, and goals. Time and distance may keep us apart, but the memories of friendships and times we shared together will remain with us forever. We once entered as freshmen, feeling awkward and out of place, not really sure what to expect from ourselves. Soon we got to know each other and our faculty, making things a little less painful. Entering as sophomores, we learned how to enjoy the finer things of our high school days. As juniors, we realized how we would soon be going our separate ways. Senior year brought us closer together for the final time, sharing memories, laughter, and tears. Let us not look at this date as an ending, but as a beginning for a new future. A future we will have to deal with ourselves, not being able to depend upon each other anymore. Alone we will be, facing new experiences and challenges, yet still looking back at the memories we shared together, giving us happiness and support along the way. Let us be thankful and joyous, for we have achieved what we have strived for. On behalf of the senior class of '84, I would like to thank the administrative staff and faculty for the support they have given us throughout our high school years, and also a special thanks to Miss Beverly McGee. Without her, none of this could have been possible. To our parents, we would like to thank for their continuous support and guidance and advice, and giving us the strength to keep going and not letting us give up in ourselves. Our counselors who have guided us through our high school years, given us advice and moral support, and a little shove once in a while when we needed it. And most of all, I would like to thank my fellow seniors for making these 4 years memorable ones. Goodbye, my friends. I wish you all the luck, success, and happiness in life. Hold on to your dreams. Good luck, and may God bless you.
Donna's reward for being a salutatorian. This beautiful trophy. Donna. I want to announce a first for Hamtramck High School before Mr. Stashik has a medley of tunes. We are on live television, channel 15, Hamtramck. So put on your best smiles. To announce our many scholarships, our senior counselor, Mr. Alphonse Kummer.
The class of 1984 can boast of 129 graduating seniors. Of the 129 seniors, 53, which is almost 50%, have applied to college and will be attending some school, we hope, this fall 1984. Of this class of 1984, 1/4 of the seniors have achieved a scholastic average of 90, which is a B average, and above for their 4 years at Hamtramck High School. One senior has the distinction of attaining an all A's average for her 4 years at Hamtramck High School. That senior happens to be your valedictorian, Anita Pavelski. Congratulations. For the first time, class of 1984 has to be congratulated. You are the class that have received the largest amount of monies that we are aware of as far as grants, tuition, scholarships, etc. You have achieved over $50,000 as a class. You must be congratulated. This has been in the form of scholarships, grants, monetary awards. One senior has been granted a full 4-year scholarship to Wayne State University, amounting total cash value of $7,700. The 4-year scholarship has been awarded through Wayne State University, not through Hamtramck High. Congratulations to Anita Pavelski. Other students who are not bashful to identify and tell us of their scholarships and of their monetary awards were Ann Buzanowski. Would you please stand? Detroit College of Business, 2 1/2-year tuition scholarships, value $3,000. Our salutatorian, Donna Alexandrovich. Eastern Michigan University Regent Scholar Award, $1,500 over the 4 years, which is valued as $6,000. ADK Scholarship Award, $500. The Professional Secretary Institute Award of an additional $500. If you total that up, that's $7,000. Damian Smith, would you please rise? National Mathematics Scholarship Award, $1,600. Carmen X, Detroit Business of Institute, $1,200. The Seroptimus Award, $50. Sharon Torcella, Hamtramck High School Alumni Varsity Scholarship, $1,000. Alan Voitalik, Eastern Michigan University Recognition of Excellence Award. By the way, he's number 3 in the class, $1,000. Lisa Sawinski, Arthur Brooks Athletic Scholarship Award, $1,000. Michael Gryjak, International Youth Sympathy Award, $150. Joseph Johnson. The James J. Renkevich Award, valued at $100. And Miss Lisa Gregory, the James J. Renkevich Award, $100. Thank you.
Before I introduce our superintendent, who's always supportive of Hamtramck High School, I would like to acknowledge and thank the many people who are here today and are involved in this program. A program such as this usually lasts an hour or so, but it takes many, many months of planning. I would like to introduce the people on the platform who are not part of the speaking program and thank them for sharing this evening with us. Mary Rinkevich, Vice President of the Board of Education. Joan Barushko, Secretary of the Board of Education. By the way, Joan Barushko is also the President of the Parents Association, and for as long as I can remember, she and her very able-bodied crew always put on a beautiful breakfast for us, for the students and the faculty at Hamtramck High School. We will always be grateful for that. Ray Manchik, School Board Trustee. Stanley Kaminsky, School Board Trustee. Dr. Paul Stamatakis, Assistant Superintendent. Elizabeth Pluto, Director of Compensatory Education. Dr. Robbie Kindle, Director of Special Services. Abba Berlin, Director of Project Development. Now would you please hold your applause while I introduce the faculty, and then at the very end of the introduction we can all give them an extra special applause. Our senior class sponsor, who today will breathe a lot easier when this is all over with, Beverly McGee. Very new faculty member who's doing a beautiful job in our physical ed department and will shortly take on a very interesting dance class, Marina Amici. Lucky to have people like this, our coach and woodworking teacher, John Salone. They follow instructions real well. Math teacher and assisted coaching several sports, Frank Corey. Peter Danielson, woodworking, drafting, and driver education. Jane Garanzini, business education teacher. And of course, the sponsor for the class of '85, but we won't talk about that. Stanley Giza, government teacher and honors English. Noel Ivizai, bilingual education teacher. Denise Johnson, home economics teacher. Tony Marasco, former coach and business education teacher. Robert Nallette, biology teacher. Denise Latario, special education teacher. Our next teacher has won many awards, and so has his students. In fact, practically all of his students will be working starting Monday. John Pagos, graphic arts teacher. Silas Walden, who unfortunately decides to pursue another career in another week or so, our retiring math teacher. Patricia Wilk, reading enrichment teacher. John Stashik, music director. We certainly appreciate the faculty taking time to join us today, using their skills. Mr. Pagos was instrumental in designing the stage and also the honor guard. There will also be honor guards as the students leave us, as they become alumni and leave us. We would also like to thank Frank Leonardovich and the maintenance crew, Richard Renkevich and his crew here in the community center, John Salone and his students, Mrs. McClarion for the beautiful sign in back of me, and of course, how could we survive without our school secretaries, Mrs. Dee McCushik, Mrs. Mary Myers, Mrs. Jean Shahofsky, Mr. Artie May for his cooperation this morning and also this evening. All of these people helped this morning to organize, set up the seating, and decorate the gym for these ceremonies. In addition, we would like to thank Mr. Snyder, Mr. Decker, Mr. Myrick, and my very able assistant, Mr. Joe Hudson. At this time, I would like to present our superintendent, Mr. Clarence Delatovich.
Thank you, Mr. Perry. Platform guests, graduates, parents, friends. It always seems that it's just a short time ago that we looked at these young people and all of a sudden they're graduates. I look at Mike Gryjack, and I remember when I first started to work here, the very first student that I met was Mike. He came up to me, and he must have been in the 4th grade or 3rd grade, as I walked into my office and says, "I'm Mike Gryjack. What's your name?" Well, that makes this class just seem like I've seen you grow up. Way back from Holbrook School, and now here you are, ready to go out into that big world. And this is a tough time to graduate, it seems like, because education is so much in the forefront nowadays. You can't pick up the paper but what somebody's talking about education. And it seems as though they're really hitting on the high school part of education. Many books, many studies have come out in the last year with hundreds and hundreds of recommendations on what we should do in the high school. We have those studies that say emphasize only reading. We have those that say emphasize math and science. We have those that say, just let them have good moral and spiritual values. That will be the thing that will take them across. And then we have those that say, let's take every high school student where he is, where she is, and let them go on from there, and they'll find their way. It could get kind of confusing, and I would imagine it would seem that it would be of some concern to parents and the students that maybe we're not doing the kinds of things that we should. Well, I assure you that we have all these things in hand. I looked at our board policies to find out specifically what do we have in our philosophy of education. And this is what it says. The Hamtramck Public Schools believe that all students are entitled to the following services: professional direction and developing to their fullest potential as individuals. That's in one of the studies or two. Guidance in becoming responsible individuals and responsible members of society. That's in a couple of the studies. Adequate, this is the last one. Adequate preparation for meeting the challenges of today and tomorrow's world. This covers a study. Education for the 21st century. That's how far they're going. Well, we have had some advantages. We've put in some of the programs that we thought the students, you students, could benefit from. We are indebted to Omnicom, for instance. They have offered some of our students the opportunity to produce their own programs, direct them, cut, and so on. It seems that we can hardly move in school without somebody taking videotapes for their classes. Tremendous preparation for students. Not all students take advantage of it. They're not supposed to. There are those students who, when you walk into a typing room and see them work on their word processors, it's unbelievable. They're suited for that. So we hope, young ladies and gentlemen, almost graduates, that you took advantage of the things that were offered. We hope that you had an opportunity to take the kinds of classes that you wanted. The one thing that we couldn't do, and only you can do that, and that is, did you take full advantage? If not, it's not the end, I guess. I want to wish you luck. I hope we did the job, and if we didn't, we're going to try harder next year. Thank you.
My humble apologies for omitting a gentleman who has served on the Board of Education and was recently honored, served on the Board of Education for 27 consecutive years, Mr. Joseph Szymanski, our treasurer. At this point, I would like to introduce our 4.0, 100% solid A student, valedictorian, Anita Kowalski.
Fellow students, faculty, and parents, as our high school years come to an end, we realize that graduation is a milestone in our lives. We all remember how scared we were when we first came to high school. Everything seemed so different from what we were used to. Graduation seemed so far away that many of us believed that it would never come. We were more concerned with meeting all of our new classmates and getting through our classes. Now, as we graduate from high school, we know that we have truly learned a lot in these last 4 years. We have not only grown academically, but we have also learned more about life and about different people. We have made friendships that may last for the rest of our lives. We have come to know all of the students and teachers so well that it is sad to leave. Graduation is the ending of a carefree and joyous time of our lives, and it is the beginning of a new and exciting time. We will all now move to a new and somewhat different life filled with challenges and responsibilities. Graduation is a sad and happy time of life when we must say goodbye to fellow students and faculty and look ahead to new friends and acquaintances in our chosen fields. As we leave high school, we remember how much help we have received from our parents and from our teachers. Their years of support, dedication, and guidance will be a continuous influence on our lives. There are many times when they helped us with our problems, and they now share in our happiness and in our success. As we leave high school, we leave behind our well-traveled ways and set out on new, unexplored roads. We know that we are equipped for years of study, work, and friendship with the tools necessary to make our way. May the knowledge that we have received in high school always stay with us, and may we always keep our high hopes for the future. No matter what we do or where we go, we will always have the memories of Hamtramck High. Thank you.
Our Valedictorian Award. The time that students have been waiting over 12 years for is just about to arrive, the presentation of their diplomas by a gentleman who has been doing this for over a quarter of a century. A gentleman who was honored recently for having the longest tenure of any school board member in the state and in the country. None other than our president, Mr. Chester Reese. He will be assisted by Sheila Cochran, class president. But before we start, I would like to introduce to the audience, because the students, of course, know these people, our class officers, and they have been a good group to work with. Willie Little, president. Richard Woodson. Sheila Cochran. Shelley Cochran. Greg McBride. Christine Zaborowski. Carmen Epps. David Renkevich. And Larry Sulikowski.
Ready to start.
Dana Alexandrovich. Angela Ayers. Kathleen Blue. Charlie Barnes. Laura Bauer. Donna Besselo. Benjamin Blicky. Kevin Birkenhauer. Mark Bogenholm. Stephen Bojek. Angelika Bosenhausen. Ron Bujek. Maria Kamad. Julie Campbell. Shelley Cochran. Michael Capola. Daniel Cross. Stephen David. Warren Davis. Tammy Dennis. Russia Duhana. Buddy Dyer. James Dyer. Yolanda Dubowski. Dawn Trubicki. Carmen Epps. Jennifer Esmond. Catherine Frenchek. Ginger Friel. Maria Jonai. Katrina Bajushai. Natalie Golowaka. Vera Gochevic. Anita Golden. Lisa Gray. Joseph Grabowski. Lucian Golgaric. Michael Grydet. Brian House. Mike Hood. Darren Pozinski. Robin Howard. Gary Javinsky. Edward Kobeski. Gary Conrad. Eugene Kozak. Cynthia Kalinsky. Joanne Kalinsky. Robert Lamorato. Celia Lawson. Chris Leapart. Dana Loud. Dorothy Little. Willie James Little Jr. Kennedy Logan. Louis Lezinowski. Vesna Lukovic. Kanto Lulai. Antoinette Marlowe. Lori Martini. Michael Mazalowskis. Greg McBride. Michael McGore. Terrence Monday. Anthony Montgomery. Inez Moore. Charles Murray. Andre Buzel. Desi Neely. Andrea Neville. Nicola New. Cola Plushai. Gary Karaski. Jeffrey Carter. Anita Kowalski. Walter Perry. Alita Farr. Perez Pizarski, Vinny Kowalski, Joan Frieden, Michelle Raymer, David Rinkevich, Renee Rustic, Marlo Rogoski, Susan Romero, Thomas Russell, Damon Rutledge, Michael Sawicki, Michelle Sawyer, Joe Sheffield, Joyce Sheffield, Darren Schultz, Anthony Simonet, James Sawicki, Damian Smith, Lisa Sawinski, Larry Silikowski, Gail Sylvester, Susan Shabla, Pamela Tillman, Colleen Tolentino, Michael Tomaszewski, Walter Tomkiel, Sharon Torcella, Lisa Trader, Teresa Trader, Pamela Turner, Hannah Lulai, Sadida Wahab, Gerald Wendelowski, Michael Wendelowski, Louis Windorf. Christine Wilson. Kim Wingo. Alan Wortally. Richard Woodson. Terry Wright. Christine Zaborowski. Peter Zatek. Robert Zawinski. Abdul Zandani.
I won't be long because I'm sure that all of you want to get out of here as much as I do. But there are a few people that I would like to thank. First of all, on behalf of the class of '84, I'd like to thank Mrs. Beverly McGee for being the best sponsor any class could have. She's very patient and supportive, for which we are very appreciative. I'd also like to thank the teachers and administrators for all the help they've offered during our stay here. I'm sure they've gotten hot-headed at us on several occasions. I would therefore like to announce that with the remaining money in our treasury, we will purchase an air conditioner for the teachers' lounge to cool them off. Again, I'd like to say thank you to those who made the great class of '84 what we are today. Now, with the class of HHS class of '84, please stand. Would you place your tassels on the right side, for you are now alumni.
Settle down, please. As this beautiful and meaningful evening draws to an end, I would like to share some thoughts with you. Thoughts that occurred to me when I looked over a recent study on high schools and the changing world of work. What I read in this report, which was commissioned by the National Academy of Sciences, made me think of the graduating class of 1984 for many, many reasons. Among other things, the report noted that successful high school students must, I repeat, have the following traits and abilities to succeed in the world of work. 1, a good attitude. 2, a willingness to work. 3, the ability to get along with its peers. 4, a flexible attitude towards solving mutual problems. 5, a high degree of self-motivation. And finally, 6, the ability to cope with adversities when it presents itself. So how does all this tend to remind me of you, the class of '84? Well, there were several occasions in recent months when this class had to demonstrate all of the above characteristics. Let me mention a few to you. Number 1, the senior prom. That was one of the best organized and smooth-flowing proms of all time. You were all both a credit to yourself as individuals as well as to your entire class. Number 2, if you'll recall, not opening the school doors in the morning until 8 a.m. I am glad to report, despite the short notice, that there was not one single complaint from the student body, which was led, of course, by the graduating class. That shows great flexibility and the proper school attitude in my book. Mr. Hudson and I were very grateful. Number 3, changing the senior trip from Kings Island to Cedar Point was performed so smoothly and without the least bit of rancor that for me it was a prime example of how responsible, self-motivating people can solve a problem for the best interest of all concerned. The point of all this is that the graduating class of 1984 has actually demonstrated all of the traits and characteristics which the report said was so important to future success. Adaptability, flexibility, reasonable and responsible attitudes, maturity, and a high degree of responsibility. This is why I have such high hopes for you as individuals and as a graduating class. And this is why I am proud to say I was your principal. I am sure that your parents are equally as proud, and for this, this is definitely a class with a lot of class. Thank you.